All right, people, what is going on? We've got some injury reports to look at, hot off the presses. Just got tweeted out by the Seahawks beat reporters in the last couple minutes here. Let's take a look at game statuses for Sunday. Now, real quick, first of all, this tweet that we're going to be looking at, the image comes from Dugar. Second of all, the practice statuses for today for the Seahawks are not out yet, but the game statuses are out. So we're going to run with that. The Titans have released both the practice statuses and the game statuses, so we'll get a little more information over there, but I think we've got plenty enough to work with on both sides. So, starting with the Seahawks side of things, let's take a closer look at the image here. You can see a lot of these guys have no game status, meaning that whatever injury might be bothering them is not really bothering them too significantly. So once again, going to be fairly clean. All right, guys, let's take a minute so I can tell you guys about Sleeper. I'll tell you a little secret as well. It's more than just a platform for fantasy leagues. This year, millions of users have enjoyed playing fantasy sports on Sleeper, but there's so much more to it. You have live stats, real-time updates of all stats. You have a news feed with lightning-fast updates on players and teams, and a real-time chat where you can engage with other users about plays, performances, games, all kinds of stuff during the sports season. So download Sleeper, experience it for yourself, and don't forget to use my promo code SBN to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit, and pair that with their new promo that will give you a free $20 entry, no deposit needed. So you can use both of those promos. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and going, so check out Sleeper today and use those promos. Okay, so Kobe Bryant, no game status, good to go. Nick Eamon-Wari, no game status, good there. DeMarcus Lawrence, of course, no problems there, no status. Mike Morris, whatever it was that was bugging him starting starting for the start of the week, we're good, no game status. JSN, of course, no game status. Cody White, Leonard Williams, good stuff there. So right away, you can go ahead and forget about some of this. Excuse me, some of this. Now, it's not all great. Yeah, I will admit it's not all great. And there might be some surprising holdouts for this game. Now, it's the Titans, and that's not to say they're not an NFL team. But if this team needs to rest some of their key guys this week, it's a pretty good week to do it. So don't be surprised if these guys do sit out. But Ernest Jones, questionable. We don't know if he practiced today or not, or how much he did practice yet, but questionable. I mean, hey, this would be a week to rest him. Unfortunately, though, Tyrese Knight is out, which we've known about that pretty much since the moment he got hurt on Sunday, but Tyrese Knight would be the guy taking Ernest Jones's place if Ernest Jones is out. So I kind of hope he can go, but at the same time, I understand that there are going to be games down the line where it's more important that we have Ernest Jones. So we'll see what happens, but questionable. Robbie Oots, questionable, which I know he's got something going on with his family right now. I don't know the exact details of it. I wonder if that implies that they think he might not be back in time to play, or if maybe they're thinking the injury might keep him out and the family thing isn't really a part of it. I don't know. Kind of weird, but Robbie Oots, questionable. Gray Zabel, questionable, which, I mean, that's better than I expected when the week started. Again, I don't really think he should play. I think that's probably, you're playing with fire if you have him play in this game, so I would say that he probably needs to be held out regardless, but the fact that he's questionable now, very good indicator for next week, the week after, etc. And final questionable, we got Ken Walker. Ken Walker out of nowhere with a glute injury. Don't know how much he practiced today, but he is suddenly questionable. And look, we definitely don't like to see that. Earlier this week, this team was hyping him up, saying, oh, we got to get him the ball more. He's doing better. He's earned more touches. And then we get to the end of the year here, the last 7 games plus playoffs. We know Ken Walker's history, And now he's out of nowhere showing up on an injury report. That is the last thing we wanted to see. I'll be honest. Not so much for this game. Like this game, okay, we can find other ways to win even without a player like a Ken Walker. But we did not need to see this with 7 games left in the season, knowing Ken Walker's history, where you go back to last year. He never could really get right after he got initially injured in the second half of the season. And I think we all got to sweat this one out a little bit. Not good. So hoping that it ends up being a blip on the radar, but knowing Ken Walker's history, you cannot be blamed for thinking that there could be something a little more serious here. So hoping for the best, but totally willing to let him sit out for a week if that's what we need to ensure that he's got every chance to be there when we need him the most. We also got 2 players listed as out. Neither guy's a surprise. Torrey Horton is out. I don't know if he practiced today or not. Probably not. And Tyrese Knight, who got a concussion last week, so he should be out. Not much to say there. It is a bummer if Ernest Jones can't go and Tyrese Knight also can't go, because Knight's obviously the next man up. But I feel like Jones probably will play, for one. I do feel like Jones will probably be out there. And again, this is the week where you should be able to do what you need to do, even if you don't have all your guys. So be it. Jim Wyatt over here on X, a Titans writer, has the injury report on their side. So let's take a look at that here. They've got problems too, man. They've got problems. Certainly could have been worse. They've got several guys that have no designation for the game. Joe Bakke, backup linebacker, he is ready to go, although he is a backup, so it's not that big of a deal. You've got Chimere Dike, wide receiver. He was a full participant all week anyway, so it's not surprising, but he is going to go. No game status. Same for Okonkwo, who was limited all week, but he's going to go, looks like. No game status. Same for Jeffrey Simmons, which obviously that's the big one, right? That's the guy that they need just to feel like a real NFL team almost. Without Jeffrey Simmons, who's their best player? Is it Cedric Gray? Some people would argue it's Cody Barton. That's how bad it is. So looks like he's good, even though he did miss a good amount of practice this week. Tajay Spears and Jihad Ward are good to go, but they were resting initially anyway, so there was never any concern there. And Kevin Zeitler, despite missing quite a bit of practice this week, is good to go. I mean, he's an old guy. He doesn't necessarily need every practice session anyway. So they are good there. We've got Daryl Baker Jr., who is now questionable, went backwards today, was a DNP on Friday. They're still listing him as questionable, which implies that the reason why he didn't practice today is that he was sick. So they feel like probably the knee injury is relatively tame at this point, if I had to guess. Maybe they're worried the illness, which apparently just flared up, could keep him out. That's basically their number 1 corner right now, though, so that's pretty big either way. We will see what happens there. Corey Levin, questionable, limited today. Not a starter for them, though, on the offensive line, so not a big deal. And Kalel Mullings might come off IR. They list him as questionable. They still have to activate him, and to my knowledge, they haven't done it yet, but it's not a big deal. He's, at best, a third-string running back. So not much to say there, really. But the ones that really hurt would be Ayomanor, the wide receiver, who at this point, with Calvin Ridley out for the year, is basically their number 1 receiver. He didn't practice all week. He is out. So that's a big blow. And it puts a lot of pressure on DK to basically be their number 1 receiver, along with Van Jefferson. And then I don't even know what they do. Xavier Restrepo might actually get activated. So yeah, no Ayomanor. Also no Xavier Woods, a starting safety for them. And that comes linked with no Kendall Brooks because he's out with a concussion. Now, I think that Kevin Winston is going to be the guy to replace Woods anyway, but Brooks probably would have been a little more involved if he was available. So they got their own problems. And, if Daryl Baker cannot play in this game, then you're not going to find a worse secondary in football on, I'd say, any other team at that point. They're already down L'Jarius Sneed, and they traded away Roger McCreary. If they lose Baker, they already kind of have nothing as it is. And Xavier Woods is out too, so that secondary becomes barely even NFL caliber, it feels like. So, got to take full advantage. But that is what we got. So, got to stress out a little bit over Ken Walker. Maybe stress out a little bit about Ernest Jones as well. But overall, not too bad. We're talking about we're talking about mid-season stuff here, guys. The injuries pile up. Okay. I will talk to you guys later. Go Hawks. And there's your final injury report.